Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Stellaris. This might be a little different than our normally scheduled program of World of Warships, but I figure a little bit of variety never hurt nobody. Alright, so quick summary of the game. Stellaris is a grand strategy game made by Paradox Interactive, where you conquer the galaxy as a species that you will be creating. We're going to be starting a new game here, and away we go. Yes, if you can tell by the side, I have a love for collective consciousnesses, and we will be playing as a hive mind. So, at the beginning of the game, you have to make your own you make a species. Hang on, I need to move the actual Gamecaster icon to someplace else. Alright. We're just getting everything laid out. Anywho, so there are machines now. It's a new machine DLC where you can play as machine intelligences. Otherwise, the appearance does absolutely nothing for you in game. It's simply a, hey, do you want to be cute geckos? Now, of course, I have a certain love for the various different humanoids, but I think today we're going to play as a plant. Specifically a carnivorous plant. So which one of you look carnivorous? Ooh, you very carnivorous looking. Okay. There's a random name generator in this game, which I am just going to mash a couple of times. The Lavis. The Lavian. I like it. We're going to be playing as a hive mind. SGS, Silver Ghost's ship, of course. Alright, now here's where you actually get to define things that are actually, important to your race. Like, for example, are we going to be intelligent? Well, this is a game set in space. Science is important. I'm also going to be natural engineers because engineering is important. You don't have to take my word on it. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Anywho. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that we have negative trait picks, so that means we have to pick a negative trait in order to balance ourselves out. This is how the game balances itself. In this particular situation, I'm thinking we do... What do we think? I don't know. Let's go with sedentary, because sedentary... Okay, migration doesn't really hurt you any when you're a hive mind, and resettlement costs, again, it doesn't really matter so much, because I'm not going to be moving people around very much. At least that's the plan. Ruler, whatever. Color, ooh, okay. What color do we want to make our creepy people eater? Let's go green. We're environmentally friendly plants that eat people. Yes, environmentally friendly plants that eat people. I think... Hang on. Environmentally friendly plants that eat people. We're the Amphithept. Yep, that's what it is. We're the Entepep. That. We are them. Yep. There we go. Because no one's ever going to address these guys in the singular. Those plant guys. When you're talking about this particular species. Alright. Homeworld name and class. Now we're a plant. Plants go in tropics. That seems kind of like idiot-proof to me. And the name, again, it's just flashy. It's not critically important. Plantoid cities, because again, we're plants. If you're going to be a plant, you gotta be a plant. We're also going to be a hive mind. Now, I did say we're going to eat people. Therefore, we are a devouring swarm. Specifically, a ravenous hive. Yes. Now, okay, just so anybody watching understands what's going on here, what this does is it literally turns the diplomatic part of the game off. I think I might be a little quiet compared to the in-game audio. So we're going to go ahead and turn that back a little bit. Turn me up a little bit. There we go. That's probably a little bit better balanced. It's hard to tell, though, sometimes. Alright, so Devouring Swarm. What this does for us is it turns off diplomacy in the game. So, are people going to be assholes? Yeah. But in exchange for not dealing with anybody diplomatically ever, we actually get research from eating people. Obviously, when we eat their brains, we get to know more about them. Yes, obviously. And our ships are tougher, regenerate naturally. Our armies, again, just go and eat people. It's a lot harder to, you know, lose a ground combat when just eating them is an option. You also get a research speed boost to biology. Now that's a very specific, it's not like an entire tech group, it's a specific type of technology within the society trees. Minus 15% ship cost, always good, and we can just have 33% more ships. Basically, we are terrifying space creatures that go around with an ungodly number of ships and just eat people, but we can't have allies. Now, a second thing we need to pick. This is a much harder choice. Now, we're already very science-heavy, so natural neural network isn't really required. Now, I'm going to go with minus 20% consumer goods cost, because what that does is it means that all of our plants take 20% less resources to keep up, which means we're going to have an unbelievably huge number of people, and that is perfectly okay. Which is awesome, because low maintenance cost is good in every strategy game ever. Advisor voice, what shall our person sound like?
Myself is a prison from which only we have escaped.
That's kind of awesome, but let's take a minute and look at some options. I also
No great advance is made without great sacrifice.
This channel is now under military control. Obey all instructions transmitted here and report any insurgent activity to the nearest occupation officer. Have a nice day.
Nope, that doesn't make sense.
No, it'll be fine. I'm telling you, just turn off the fail-safes and... Wait, is this thing on?
Okay, that's funny, but we're gonna go with hive mind, because we are a hive mind after all, and that makes sense.
What is a single voice compared to our magnificent chorus? Our collective is an island of warmth and harmony in a sea of discord. How cold and lonely it must be to face the darkness of space alone.
I'm just imagining this thing saying that, and that is a terrifying image. But I'm always torn between hive mind and the technocrat, just because I like the technocrat too.
The blind masses must be led down the path of reason.
No, let's eat people.
What is a single voice?
Reveners. Crap, I'm trying to remember what that stands for now and I'm forgetting. Oh well. There we go. We'll figure it out later. Reveners, Throng, Devourers, Throng, Horde. I like Horde. Hordes are good. Flag. We are a plant. What looks planty? Is that a word? Planty? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. It's not important. It's not important. Ooh, wait. Thorns. Yes. I am the Silver Ghost. Our primary color must be silver. And we're plants. Therefore, green. That looks kind of hideous. Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. Hey, that actually looks pretty cool. Let's go with it! Keep right on rolling. Starting weapons. Pew-pew lasers, no. Missiles I've never been a huge fan of, just for a variety of reasons. But mass drivers. Who doesn't love railguns? I mean, really, who doesn't love railguns? Wormholes, not even a question. Maybe I'll explain in description somewhere why wormholes are better, but they're just better, in my opinion. Warp is good if you feel like exploring. Hyperspace, a lot of people will talk about hyperspace, but I always think that it's way too limiting. Wormholes are great. You just, you know, I want to go over there. You go over there. And it's fast, unlike Warp, who's also able to kind of just go over there. Okay, fine. You need wormhole generators, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Plantoid ships, because again, we're a plant. Now, apparently it doesn't like one of our traits. Sedentary. Really? So I don't get to have sedentary, because we're a hive mind. That's... Well, that's a... Wait, repugnant. Ruler impact, who cares? We're just going to eat you. Our entire approach is we go and eat you. Why didn't I think of this before? Repugnant. No kidding, they don't like us. Our hello is om nom nom, you taste nice. It's kind of like a shark. We're plant sharks. Yes, go on with it. Anywho, so that's good. Alright, in review. We are super smart engineering plants that eat people. Yep. That's the plan. Let's tone down the galaxy a little bit. Large, spiral forearm. I hate advanced AI sarts. I just have an issue with it. Let's have species. Not as many as possible, but like a lot. Random number. I like random starts. Just kind of in general. Primitive civilizations. I like having primitive civilizations. I think it adds a lot of dynamicness to the game. Habitable worlds. That's fine. Crisis strength 1 because I don't know if we're gonna ever get that far. Who knows? We may just die. That happens to me a lot. I don't claim to be good at this. Advanced neighbors, no thank you. Empire placement, random. Okay, why they have these two always confuses me. Like empire placement, random. Advanced neighbors off. So it's not really random. Like clusters, it would make sense. Advanced neighbors that keeps you from spawning in surrounded by like really super advanced ancient empires or something, which is kind of nice. But we're doing random. Just random. Leave me be. Iron Man, no. This is not an achievement hunting situation, and if I have an issue with recording or something, I like being able to go back and save. One bit of details that I will add in, Fallen Empires, well, there you go, there's a tooltip explaining them. They're basically big, scary things you don't want to mess with because they will kill you. There's not even a question, they'll just be like, oh, you flicked me in the forehead. I'm kind of annoyed. Well, here's a thumb. Squish. Don't get squished. It does not go well. Anyway. Away we go. Starting a new game. Oh boy. There might be a little bit of a lag spike here while everything adjusts. Yep, there we go. And we're in. Alright. The acronym that I forgot about, its name, Horde. Alright. The great hunger drove us forwards. Even before the mind was capable of processing complex thoughts, we hunted, we fed, and we grew. As prey began to grow scarce, the ravenous yearning for flesh forced us to adapt. We used tools and devised new strategies as we feasted the surface of our homeworld, Prima, was nearly cleansed of biomass, but the mind eventually came to a horrifying conclusion. Homeworld was finite. When we had consumed everything on this world, there would be nothing left to sustain us. Forced to adapt once again, the mind carefully nursed the remaining biomass while new tools were invented. The atom was eventually split, and we developed spaceflight. With the discovery of FTL drives, the mind howled with triumph. Our other planets and their biomass were finally within our reach. The hunt was on. Begin. That is incredibly ominous. That is incredibly ominous. Ominous, yes. We're a moon! Just observation. That is one fun thing about this game, is since you have random starting systems, you can just be like, oh, our homeworld is the moon of a gas giant. It's a big moon. Like, this is... I think Earth is a size 16 planet, just to give you some idea of, like, what the sizes mean. So this is a size 17 planet. So this is a planet that's actually bigger than Earth that's orbiting a gas giant. That is insane. Also, I just want to appreciate for a minute the level of detail that the game designers put into this game. Like, this is a plant starbase. It has a river with an oasis. Not gonna lie, it kind of reminds me of Cyrodiil. Any Elder Scrolls fans out there? Not gonna worry about it. Okay. Step 1, survey the system, and order an additional science ship. Alright, I'm going to start going through menus for y'all. Alright, so, let's look at where we are in the galaxy first. Ooh, Shadow Nebula. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Anyway, so this ring here is our wormhole jump radius. What that means is that we have a wormhole station in our homeworld. So we can jump to any star in this circle. Every one we build will then put out another circle and so on. If this was the Milky Way, Earth would be right about here, for if anybody is a space junkie. Alright, so it looks like we're pretty far out this arm, which means the odds of there being somebody up here is relatively low. I hope. Anyway, well, we have a minute. Let's split this fleet up a little bit. Game? Work with me. There we go. Use those two. Okay, so what I did is I cut off a single scout ship. Well, it's not a scout ship, it's a Corvette. They're the smallest class of military ship. But it has enough sensors that it can poke its head into a system and say, yes, there are planets here! Or, no, there aren't. And that's kind of nice because it lets you decide, well, where do we want to commit our resources into exploring early on? Because it'll also pick up, hey, there's a planet that might be habitable here, etc., etc. So we just queued up moving in all these stars. Okay, back to our home system. Next step, look at the home world. Hey, let's see. Slave, food, and mineral production. That's kind of mediocre, because you always get a bonus for your starting governors. And, well, we're not ever going to have slaves that make minerals. So that's kind of eh. Oh yeah, we're a hive mind, so we have no happiness or anything. Alright, so we have some collapsed burrows, we have some industrial wasteland when we were, you know, bad at industry, kind of like humans. That's actually a really good mineral tile. To give you an idea, usually they're like 2, maybe 1. Yeah, that's a 1 over here. So having a 3 is pretty spectacular. But anywho, so that's the homeworld. We have a couple defense armies to start off with, which are eh. Defense armies can't move between planets, assault armies can, so there's, in my opinion, very little reason to build defense armies, outside of the fact that they're substantially cheaper. Anyway, science! Alright, so we get to pick a physics, society, and an engineering research. Our first options for physics. Well, solar panels are nice. That is what the ISS uses after all, in actuality. Genome mapping plus 10% growth speed. Growth speed is always good. I like having more ravenous plants to munch on. Alright. He has an rocketry expertise. None of these are rocketry, so... Well, having better guns is always good. After all, he with the bigger gun wins, assuming they can, you know, hit things. But I think we're gonna go with the cheapest one here, which is Engineering Research Facility 1s. They're an improved engineering research facility. Plus we're gonna be good at engineering, so that's probably a good move. Probably. Alright, let's get time going. Moving at a nice quick clip. Just follow around our little Pi-class science vessel. That isn't incredibly creepy. It's like, I will nom on your face. But it's just the science ship. Wow, okay. These things would be terrifying if we actually went out into space and was like, oh yeah, by the way, the first species we run into is this semi-collective... Oh. Okay, they found an anomaly on that asteroid.
Construction is complete.
Yes, yes, get out of the way. A terrifying voice you heard was the collective. The asteroid V designation D is emitting some form of radiation in controlled burst. Is someone or something trying to communicate with us? I'm gonna go with let's not poke it. Fear not, that is not my usual tact is not don't poke the thing. It's more just a matter of ooh, plus 10% anomaly discovery chance. It's not a matter of you don't want to poke the thing so much as it's a matter of I don't want to poke the thing yet. Okay, so we have an asteroid that's worth mining because it makes minerals, and minerals are always worth having more of. Alright, for those folks watching on YouTube, you're about to get a cut in about 15 seconds. It should pick right back up after that. We'll see what happens. For those of you in the wonderful world of Twitch, congratulations, you get unabated streaming.
build